important right now. You're absolutely right. Working on the immune system, preventing this disease from getting a hold of us is
Yeah.
first and foremost. Absolutely.
Right, right. So let's start by just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, sure, sure. My name is Kathy Riley. I've been working for Microbiome Labs since 2017, and it's kind of a long story how I got to this position, but I suffered from severe eczema for almost 20 years. I went to all the doctors. I had all the lotions and potions and creams, and I just, I knew there was a better answer. So I
Right,
finally discovered that removing gluten and dairy from my diet would help. And it was a big change, but it was still so restrictive
right,
that it wasn't sustainable for long term, at least in my opinion.
right.
So finally, a friend of mine introduced me to Megaspore about 3 years ago, and within the first few weeks, I knew that there was a difference. Um,
Mhm.
it was subtle at first. It did take a while for it to take the full effects of the product and the Megaspore and rebuilding my gut, but I knew there was a difference. So luckily I had the opportunity to start working for them a couple of years ago, and I'm so glad I did, because this is really,
Wonderful.
it's changing people's lives, and I just enjoy this so much, being able to help people with their health.
Right, right. Yeah, it definitely made a huge, huge difference with me and my family and a lot of my clients also. So let me see. All right, so what is this leaky gut we've
Oh
often heard
yeah.
about?
Leaky gut is kind of hard to describe, understand, but when we say leaky gut, we're not talking about your stomach per se, which is what most people might think. It's actually your intestines, your colon. So after that, it goes through the stomach and then into your intestines, your small intestine and your large intestine. And what happens is you have a one cell lining that surrounds this and prevents um, particles of food basically from going into the circulatory system. They have tight junctions, and what happens is these tight junctions get inflamed, and they start letting food through these tight junctions. And once that gets into your circulatory system, everything starts to attack it, because it's not supposed to be
Okay.
in there. And it
Right,
causes all of the inflammation and all of these autoimmune issues that we're all dealing with right now.
right,
So, I mean, it might start as a small problem, but eventually these little problems sometimes turn into bigger problems. So it's better to
right,
address the root cause and work on that leaky gut first and foremost.
right. Absolutely. So what are the best ways that we can heal our guts?
Well, one of the first things I always recommend is what you put in your mouth 3 times a day is so important than any supplement that you could ever take. You have to start with what you're eating first. So,
Right,
reducing your processed foods, eating whole organic foods is going to be huge. Glyphosates is like a antibiotic to your microbiome. Um,
right.
so we need to work on unprocessed foods, eating whole organic foods, and then chlorinated water is a huge issue as well. So most people
Right.
don't realize that the water that they're drinking, if they live in the city and they're drinking tap water, I know everybody's buying bottled water nowadays, but if
Mm-hmm.
you're drinking it, even when you go to a restaurant, I go to a restaurant, I can't stand the water because it's chlorinated. I have lived on well water for many years. So,
Wow. Yeah.
the chlorinated water is huge. And then antibiotics. Try to reduce your need for antibiotics. Don't take antibiotics for every little sniffle you have. Taking antibiotics for viral infections is not normally good. I know they're talking about the Z-Pack and all of that, with this new protocol that they're promoting. I don't know what's going on with that, but I've always been told that one round of antibiotics will disrupt your microbiome for 6 months up to 2 years. So
Right. Right.
try to avoid those antibiotics. Oh, and birth control pills too.
Oh,
They
wow.
yeah, that's another one that most people don't talk about. So that's something
Right.
else you should try to avoid and use more natural methods.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I know there's a ton of place for antibiotics, obviously. I mean, it saves lives also. But
Absolutely.
I know it's just super important to, to back that up with a really good spore-based probiotic.
Yeah.
So my favorite, of course, is Megaspore. What makes Megaspore different from, probiotics you'd find anywhere else?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've been using lacto and bifido probiotics for so many years, and everybody thinks, more strains and more CFUs, bigger, bigger, bigger. That's not necessarily the case. What's really cool is our founder, Karan Krishnan, was actually a research microbiologist, and he discovered these spores. And they've actually been used in Europe for over 50 years as a prescription. But he found that these lacto and bifido strains of bacteria that we've been taking all these years actually don't make it through the stomach, through the gastric juices. The
Right.
gastric acids are actually there to protect everything on the lower end, the intestines. So
Right.
lacto and bifidos actually don't make it into the intestines where they can do any work. Um, the lacto and bifido theory is of reseeding the gut versus megaspore recolonizing the gut. So megaspore is able to go in, reduce your overgrown and pathogenic bacteria, which allows your unique microbiome to flourish. We have 600 or 700 different bacteria in our gut, and after a round of antibiotics or these glyphosates, processed foods, they all get reduced down. And when you have reduced bacteria, natural bacteria, what comes in is the pathogenic bacteria and all these, the candida and E. coli
Right.
and things like that that aren't supposed to be in there. Well, they are in there at a smaller rate, but they've overgrown to where they're causing issues and
Causing issues. Hmm.
yeah, causing issues, causing inflammation, which causes a leaky gut. So it's a
Mm.
vicious cycle that we've
Right.
gotten into, and it's like I said, it's a paradigm shift. Trying to get rid of, it's like kind of like thinking about low fat diets. We were told for years, low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. It's like, no, now we're all like high fat, high fat. So, it's
Yes.
kind of the same theory along those lines. The microbiome is just, it's on the forefront of being the frontier of being really understood. And so I think we have a long way to go before we
Yeah.
really understand what's going on with the microbiome. But this is a huge shift, a paradigm shift from the lacto
Right.
and bifido and all of that. So I think it's going to make a big difference for people.
Yeah. Speaking of weight loss, with my blood work, the first thing I saw that I was really excited about was that my thyroid and my liver enzymes were right where they were supposed to be. So that was a huge change from what I had last year. So that
Yeah.
was I and I know that's what megaspore is, that's what it does.
Yeah, yeah. Well, megaspore, it's so funny because it does so many different things on many different levels. Some of our studies show that, well, we know that hormones are created in the gut. So that's going
Mm,
to affect a lot of things, depression and anxiety,
yeah.
for one thing, for your hormones, sleep and energy, those are a couple of things. But it helps to lower triglycerides. It helps to lower your ghrelin levels, which is your hunger hormone. It helps
Oh,
to
wow.
increase your insulin sensitivity. I mean,
Mm,
there's just this is so many different facets to the benefits of taking Megaspore.
right. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your wisdom and knowledge here. I'm just so happy to be able to share this with everyone.
I'm glad to be here.
Um, Let me see. So key takeaways for me are avoid chlorinated water, um, healthy eating, more raw eating, megaspore, or a good spore-based probiotic that's actually going to make it into your gut.
Right.
Let me see. What else can we do? Can you think of anything else that I should add to that? We could
Yeah,
do
yeah,
to boost our immune
yeah,
system, heal
in
our
this
gut.
this coronavirus, I think there have been a couple of things that I've been recommending to my clients, and that is in addition to the Megaspore, building your immune system up to prevent infection. The other thing is maybe you should try HU58, which is our high dose
Hmm.
Bacillus, which is
That
the
would change my life there.
yeah, yeah. That particular strain, that is the antibiotic strain. I'm using antibiotic, in quotes, because it creates natural antibiotics in your gut, but they only take out the bad guys in your gut. It's not going out and clearing out everything like a prescription antibiotic would. So
Right.
HU58 is huge to really give yourself the extra edge over this virus. And the other thing is I love the Mega IgG. Mega
Yes.
IgG, yeah, has been shown to not only bind and neutralize toxins, but it also binds and neutralizes viruses. So that could
Wow.
be game
That
changing.
is huge.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So those are the two other products that I've been recommending over the Megaspore in light of this COVID virus going on.
Right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, we'll have to do this again.
Yes, definitely. Anytime. And oh yeah, so I'll also add my whenever you post this on Facebook, because I know we had all those issues with the live
Yeah,
streaming. But as soon as we get that on there and everybody can see it, and if they want to, get any of these products, let me see, what is the protocol? How do you go to the patient direct?
yeah. To register for to get onto Hannah's website, her Microbiome Labs website, you go to microbiomelabs.com and you'll register as a patient, and then it will ask you for a code. And the code that you're going to use for Hannah is LAV Mermaid, Lav Mermaid, and that will get you into her store where you can purchase these products directly.
Right. And if you have any questions at all, you can just, you can talk to Kathy. She's one of my friends on my friend list. So we're both on Facebook, and yeah, she's a huge wealth of knowledge, and I'm just so grateful that you spent this time with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Hannah. Like I said, I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye bye.